Hello, all. Welcome back. I hope and believe you are having a great time listening to our previous conversation and getting inspired. Before we start to this conversation, I request each one of you to please like, share, and subscribe to our work. It will help us to reach out to many more people who would like to start their volunteering journey and get inspired. Today, it gives me immense pleasure to invite two of my dearest friends from Mumbai. Unfortunately, both of them have not met each other, in spite being in the same city, because their volunteering journey is on a different timeline, I would say, and and one of the individual has been volunteering with us from last half a decade and so, and another volunteer who have joined us 2 3 years back, and both have been an immense pillar and support to build what the current city Mumbai is. And without further ado, help me invite my guest for the today, Omkar and Anjali. Hi Omkar, hi Anjali.
Hi,
Hi.
Hi. कैसे हो? How are you guys?
doing
Good. Doing
fine,
good.
struggling not to get Omnicon, and yeah, sitting home for the second time.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Before we move, guys, pandemic has restarted, rebooted. So please wear masks. Please avoid social gathering and try to maintain social distance wherever you're going. Do take care of yourself. So yeah, thank you so much, Anjali and Omka, for joining. And as my other conversations, even you guys were just one message away. So thank you so much for your time and being generous with this conversation.
Thanks a lot for inviting us.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, great. So to begin with the conversation, Omkar and Anjali, I would like to know about your childhood days.
So I'll go first. So
Yeah.
I was born and brought up in Mumbai itself, and typically entirely in Bandra. So my schooling happened in Bandra itself, um, in IES in Indian Education Society ka schools. One of the schools called Manik Vidya Mandir. So apart from that, like I was like just like a normal any other clueless person, like what exactly to do, what to do. So like all my friends joined science. So even I was like, I'll do science after my 10th. And subsequently, like all my friends went into engineering. So I was like, that seems cool. I should go into engineering. So I ended up doing engineering. And so in during final years of my engineering, I realized like what I want to do in life, what my goals are. So I started exploring. And so this is how I started, like doing some small random projects and all. I realized that I do not have skills, to be frank. Like it is like for most a lot of people until final year or third year of engineering, they realize that they lack skills to like, actually land up a job. So this is where I realized like I should, opt for some skills or something like that. So this is how I got exposed to some, minimal form of coding and all those things. So subsequently, like I started developing certain small stuff, and from that I ended up going into uh, you know developing mobile and web applications and all this time. So I had a startup of my own which I ran for like 4 years. I quit, and now I am doing my MBA right now, and currently I'm freelancing as a full-time app developer.
Nice, nice, nice.
That's
Anjali?
great. Okay, so I'm basically from Kerala. So I'm born in Kerala, brought up in Mumbai. Schooling, college, everything was in Mumbai. I have done my graduation in biotech, and in that college, like I guess during my childhood, I always had this, you know, feeling like I have to, do something. I don't know, like being very, I like from childhood, very empathetic, always crying. I had this feeling that okay, when I grow, I have to volunteer. I have this to-do list which I made in ninth standard, wherein I have written volunteer for kids.
Nice.
So yeah, it was like I had to tick it all of them, and one was to become a doctor. Unfortunately, of course, as many other science students, I also was like, "Chalo, doctor bante." I tried and then I was like, नहीं भाई नहीं करना है बहुत ज़्यादा तकलीफ है बनने के बाद भी चैन नहीं तो I was like no let's go for other path and then but volunteering was still there and the love for kids so that was always there like even my sister's kids I used to be their babysitter so all those things instill this feeling of so much of love and care for kids understanding their emotions so it's like we at times treat kids like babies like they don't understand things but I realize is that they should be treated with the equal respect like they are just any other person so when we understand their emotion or when they are saying something instead of laughing when we try to understand what they really want to say all those things affects the kids growth so
Right.
I have seen such things and that made me feel that okay there are so many kids out there who are not able to just have a good time because might be the financial situation of their parents or maybe orphans so all those things made me feel that okay volunteering for kids would be the best thing that I can do because I'm good with kids so that's when I went on to search and you know जब तुम कुछ ढूंढते तो क्या है ना तुम्हें से मिलाने की कोशिश में लग जाती है that kind of thing Bhumi volunteer this orientation message came to my college group and I went for it only I was the only one who went to that orientation from my whole college so and it was in Mumbai so even in Maharashtra there are like in central line it's a like long distance like I stay near Kalyan Ambernath and I'm actually from Ambernath which is very far from the main Mumbai side because all of the Mumbai Bhumi meetings like happens there so it was difficult for me to travel on a mega block Sunday when local trains are very less and very slow but I was like karna and when I went there I had a really good time and that's how my volunteering journey with Bhumi started and I have never left it and yeah corona happens so I started my online journey yeah
Yeah. And Omkar, how did Bhumi happen to you? You're on mute.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, I was on an exploring phase in my third year of engineering, and then I was like, what all things that I could do, and then I realized, I like helping people, and and I discovered like the love for teaching at that time, like teaching your friends or your like anyone in college or something like that. Then I was like, okay, I can how about like volunteering and teaching a lot of kids like while growing up I realized that I wasn't taught computers that well in my school. All the thing that I wanted or all the thing that I was taught was like paint and all those things. And then I realized like, okay, what if I combine my passion like and liking for teaching and liking for helping people, and even how about like volunteering. So I got on the internet and I was searching. So I found few NGOs which were into teaching. So I registered in all of them, and Bhumi was the first NGO to get in touch with me, and they invited me to. I still remember a small place that time. Bhumi Mumbai was like very small, like led by Lijo, who was one of the best mentors. I'm still in touch with him, and so we got in touch, and then so at that time we only had like one center and one project, that was Kanini, that was going on. So I was like, sure, sign me up, like I'll be coming. And the center was in Dadar itself, so it was like unlike Anjali, it was like just 10 minutes away from my house. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And fortunately there um, like the amount of exposure that I got in while joining right from day one, since it was a small like project that was going on. Even if you were a volunteer on the first day, you had certain responsibilities. Then apart from just teaching, like talking to the center about getting small responsibility about getting a slot on that day, or any other things. So that is how my journey started, and slowly and steadily as Bhumi Mumbai grew, even I thought of like taking up responsibility, and I was enjoying all these things because that was the only time I realized that I got exposure to a lot of things, like meeting new people, interacting with them. Me I like uh, I was a heavy introvert before joining,
Very true, very true. Yeah.
and now I can be the biggest extrovert anybody could find. Like I am someone who would start the conversation in the room. Initially, I was the one who would be like the last one to answer. Like if there's nobody to answer, let me answer now. And so this is how Bhumi like journey for me started in Bhumi. And yeah, it was like a lot of things, a lot of key things that people like they come and join an organization to give something to the world, they volunteer. But here in volunteering, subconsciously, or I was the one who got a lot of things, like
Hmm.
exposure to talking to new people. I remember Meghna asking me to, go conduct a pedagogy session. So I was someone who never did public speaking. And now I am in front of like 30 staring eyes. And I was like, now, yeah, she trained me well, but still, you had those jitters. My first session was pathetic. Second session was like a bit better. And now I can, even hold a public speaking meeting or anything, elocution or anything, even if it is impromptu in front of like 200 people. It is all because it started from there. And
Hmm.
you know like getting to know small crux about management, though informally, okay, it also gave me a huge confidence to like, let's not go for a job right now, let's do something of our own. And that was the experience that I realized that I got there was the biggest motivation for me to start up at that time. So the amount
Nice.
of confidence, amount of
Mm.
skills that you learn, and amount of knowledge that you gain. Yes, people talk about volunteering is like about giving, but for me it was all taking in.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
receiving for you. I agree with Omkar. So the exposure that you get, like the orientation itself, Bhumi orientation, I was sure that I would be like, an outcast. I don't know for what reason, but I felt like I might not fit in, and I was very much conscious, like, okay, now who will talk to me? I don't want to talk to anybody. So I took one of my friend, and I was like, you also come with me, because otherwise I will be, just freaking out. So, and then once we got there, orientation started happening, and there were games. So, with that games and everything, I was like, okay, let me initiate some conversation, let me have some fun. And we started to talk, we started to play games, wherein that different side of me started to come out. And I was like, okay, this is not that bad, I can talk to people, people are fine, like they are humans at the end. So I started to talk, and even if like I had this difference, like I had this thing in my mind that they are from Mumbai, like very Mumbai side, and their way of speaking might be different from what I have been with my school life and from where I am from. Like a slight difference, of course, there would be. But when I started talking, it felt like we are connecting on some level, and of course, that was that feeling of volunteering or that feeling of giving. So they had the same feeling of they have to do something for the kids, or they have to do something for the environment, or whatever purpose they want to fulfill. So that feeling was the key. I feel. Which made us connect very easily, and that introvert, as Omkar said it rightly, that introvert in me just just burst out its shell, and then started talking to everybody like a butterfly. So yeah.
Nice. Nice. So, yes. So, thanks for sharing your introduction with Bhumi and how did Bhumi happen. But before moving into your own journey of volunteering, what's your one line definition of volunteering? Like, if you have to write somewhere that this is volunteering, what would you write?
I would say volunteering for me would be, of course, like giving back to a society, but also having a new unique experience.
Yeah, unique experience.
Yeah.
Anjali?
I'm not able to, define volunteering in one word because for me it has been so many emotions, and I guess growth, uh, growth. Like volunteering is growth for all, like growth for the society, growth for an individual who is volunteering. So for me,
Hmm.
volunteering equals to growth, emotional growth, or mentally in every way. So yeah, for me, volunteering was has been growth. Yeah.
Nice. That actually that what both your words, right? Unique experience and growth sums up the entire concept of volunteering in many ways. And never thought that these two words would play such a important role in volunteering. Nice, nice. And do you guys remember your first day of volunteering?
Yes,
Yes, very well.
yes. I clearly remember. So, first day of volunteering was like induction and pedagogy, and then meeting the kids, and like it was fun. Like, I still remember like getting to know the kids and all which were allocated to me. So I remember me getting three kids who were allocated to me. Like, then getting to know them, getting to learn about the background, where do they come from, and then breaking that ice was the first day that I could I that's what I could remember. It was having fun, like playing games and all with them.
Nice, nice. Anjali, yeah.
Okay, so for me, first day I guess was Nakshatra Sports. It was in February 2020, just before Corona, and that was the only offline event that I could attend, sadly. But there had been many great moments online also. So during offline, I remember just before this event, I had gone to a shelter home for like clothes distribution stuff, and that was from my office. So I told my office people that okay, I'm working in an NGO. I haven't started the work, but still I said that okay, I'm a part of an NGO, and we can do that distribution drive. So I was the one who went with them, and there I saw a kid. I met one kid, and we both connected. Like we had a good chat, and later on, I'm seeing her during the Nakshatra sports. So during that
Hmm.
time, she saw me and she started coming to me, Didi, Didi, Didi. So we had this thing, I guess for all the other programs also in Bhumi, Refresh, Ignite, and Catalyze, of course, not with kids. So all these programs have this thing that we should not, connect on a deeper emotional level with kids. Especially in Ignite, I guess there is a in training program. They said that at least the commitment should be for an year of each volunteer, so that once an kid connects with you emotionally, it shouldn't be disturbing for them when you leave, or one day if you're not there, so it should not disturb their emotional so yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
that thing has been in refresh also, that we should not talk much, but this kid came running to me, and then she just hugged me. I was like, oh my God, I have been waiting for such things for a long time. Like I really love kids, and their touch or their hugging, their love, everything was so great. And like towards the end of that Nakshatra sports, everybody started calling me Anjali Didi. Like for some reason I kind of got famous among the kids, and I was very happy. I was enjoying the attention and everybody were running, and few kids were calling teacher. So like we had to put the scores for the sports thing, and I was the one who was putting the scores, and they were calling me teacher, teacher, mujhe bhi marks dikhao, mera marks kya hai. So all those
Hmm.
things has been like a great memory. And there's one girl which I said, so she saw my hat and she liked the hat. So like it's very sunny. So I told her like she can take the hat, but we are not allowed to. But I did give her the hat because she liked the hat. And later on she went with it. I was like, ठीक है गया. Like चलेगा, ऐसा कुछ problem नहीं है. Towards the end, in the evening, she came running to me and she was like, "Didi, आपका hat ले लो, thank you." I was so melted. Like, okay, like I thought बच्चे हैं लेके जाएंगे तो गए चलेगा, ऐसा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. That has been like one of the dearest ones for me, but still she took, I was fine. but she remembered and she gave it back to me and she said thank you. So all those things can be only seen like इतना अच्छा behavior वगैरह we can see only in kids. So that was my first volunteering experience. It was all filled with kids love.
Nice, nice. So just adding to what Anjali was adding is for any child interaction or any interaction with child as a volunteer, uh, all the NGOs have a different policy called child protection policy. So any
Mhm.
volunteer or anyone who will be starting your volunteering journey with kids beneficiaries, make sure you go through that and also adhere to that, because that's something we need to
Correct.
religiously respect their privacy and their
Yeah.
space. So do align yourself with child protection policy and volunteer happily. Both Anjali and Omkar now have completed your volunteering journey, and also stepped into leading the path, right? Leading the chapter or leading the project with Anjali specifically, right? How did that turn happen, and what was that moment where when you guys realized, yeah, I have to take this up?
So for me, it was like initially volunteering, and like I mentioned, since our project was like really small, from day one you already had responsibilities. So initially, I guess it was Lijo who was leading the entire city operations, and then there was Diksha who was, leading the computers Kanini project. Both are, I'm still in touch with them. They're a really good friend of mine, still till date. So uh, I was actually working under Diksha, and so even there, she always used to give me some of the other responsibility apart from teaching. So, and soon, like within a year or year and a half, we saw that we have another shelter home that is coming on board, and then there are another two projects that we are planning to start with. So one was science, that was LES, and one was maths, which was LEM, which was going to start. And so at that time, so I got in touch with Diksha, and so Diksha was like, "Can you handle like at least the operations? Since you are someone who just stays around here, so it will be easy for us to procure any materials or anything that we can use for our projects and all those things." So that was my first chance, which was again given. Like I was like I did not have any experience of even managing, like even while going in college I didn't even participate in any clubs or anything. I was like just an introvert who like goes to college, comes back home, and just chill. So I was like, okay, because I was already doing that, and and Lijo and Diksha, they fostered a really positive environment around, where
Hmm.
that was like very much important for me to grow, because they showed confidence in me. So in turn I was like, okay, even if I'm doing it for the first time, I might do this. Let's see, if anything goes wrong, we could get help, and these could get help. And then this is how a small volunteering journey, it of you cannot say leadership, but it taking responsibility started on
Hmm.
a much larger scale. And that was like the biggest stepping stone into getting into a leadership role later on, which I started with Yantra, and then subsequently moving into the CSP position. So I guess for me, you can say, if there is something which I could thank, would be the positive environment which was fostered at that time, and giving responsibilities to people, and giving them like at least a chance to at least experiment, like let's just to explore like what are your limits actually. Like I mentioned, even interestingly, there were very few people available who could do pedagogy and induction. So even that time we had Meghna who had joined us. So she was like, "Why don't you do it?" So I went on to Meghna, and I was like, "I've never done it." It's like, okay, this is how you can do. You can watch me do it. You can sit on the first bench. You can watch me do it. All these things, and uh, You can learn, you can make your own script, you can give me a mock, and then you can go ahead and do it. So I still remember, like, I was pretty much shivering at that time. Even my mock wasn't that great. Even I could feel that, I, in deep down, I could feel I cannot do it. I just want to pull off. I just want to pull off. And then Meghna was like, no, 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 you have to do it. You can do it. So that's how, getting, like, executing small tasks, I can say. It Every task that was executed, every session that went smooth, it gives you small confidence, and that, I guess, it transformed me into a volunteer, to a person who could have thought of taking a leadership role later on.
Mm, nice, nice. And Anjali, that turning milestone for you?
Okay, so milestone came very quick to me. I I was not ready. Like I might have been ready. We never know. Like when we are ready, but to me, experience wise, I was like I had just started my volunteering, and Sanket was the one who was leading Mumbai chapter. And so one day he, just texted me, "Hi Anjali, this is Sanket from Bhumi." I was like, "Okay, you are famous, we know you." And I was like very, very much, conscious. Like, okay, now, like, what is the problem? Is there anything that I have to do, or anything I have to submit? Like, I was very much, getting like teacher vibes. I don't know for what reason. But then later on, he was like, "Okay, Anjali, so there is one program called Nakshatra Online that will be starting." So this is when Corona started. It's during the month of April, May. So that was the time 2020. And he was like, "Okay, Anjali, can you just lead this Nakshatra Online?" I was like, no, that lead as in to be a coordinator. So I was like, can I do that? So he was like, I have seen you in Nakshatra Sports, and I can see that spark in you. I was like, oh my god, that's great. So yeah, later on, when I told him like whatever I had done, he was like, I know when I see a leader, and that really, kept that fire inside me, and he has been that push for me. And later on, there has like Harish, Harish, who was the NST, who is even NST right now of Refresh. So he is like the biggest motivator anybody can get. He is actually a great leader who is instilling these feelings inside you that you can be also a great leader. He actually forces you to find that thing which makes you want to lead, or which makes you to be a good leader. And yeah, Sanket has been that person who pushed me towards this coordinator role. And for me, to be a leader uh, hasn't been that difficult, because in school times I always wanted to be lead. And like being from this, you know Kerala background, my mom always like, you study, you get good marks, you become a leader, then we will talk. That kind of. And being an elder daughter, the pressure was too much. So in Nakshatra Online, the coordinatorship role or the leadership role didn't start like easily. So I was the only one. Fun fact: when I was coordinating this Nakshatra Online or to lead the program, Sankit just told me, "You go." And I went into the group and I saw I was only one in the group. Now I had the task to bring in people. So I had to talk to, like, I don't know how many, 50, hundreds of people I have till now, I guess. Yes, I had to talk to many people during that phase, and I had to convince them to join volunteering or join this Nakshatra Online. And I had to find myself, like, I had to find that interesting element in the Nakshatra Online, which is not there in offline mode. So I had to find that and put that outside for the new volunteers. And that was a very huge task. And as Omkar said, like, working and volunteering was difficult in the beginning. And there were times where I couldn't, completely focus on work, but I was completely, into this volunteering mode. And that was a changing point for me. Like, as a person, I grew from like this cocoon, and then I started to talk to people. I gained that confidence. Okay, there, talking to people can be easy if we just connect to that, emotional aspect, or, just trying to find what they like. So all those things I learned during this process. and eventually I had a team of 80 people, like from me alone, and then getting more people, and just that ripple effect we have in Bhumi. So we have to instill a feeling of volunteering in someone and ask that same person to do to more people. So yeah, all those things helped us to grow the team, and that's how I have reached here.
Like point out one thing, they say, like, if you push someone into water, they'll end up learning swimming. Okay, so this is this is not that brutal, but I guess this is one of the cultures of movie that I've realized, that these people will push you to do things. And
Yeah, yeah. Some really heavy names out there, right? Really inspiring people. Not just for both of you, for me as well, right? So moving on, one interesting fact, you guys, while you are sharing, one interesting common, I would not say interesting, one common thing which both of you shared is friendship, right? What the names you have taken, it's not just
True.
that mentor or mentee, or it's
No.
not that relationship, right? It's a
Yeah, it's
the
more
base
than.
is, yeah, it's more than that, and the base is friendship, right? And how important do you guys think that friendship is in Bhumi, or in any volunteering journey? What's your take on that?
I feel it is really important because a lot of people like prefer not to have friends in the workplace. So this is the
Correct.
space where they get to socialize, they get to find friends, they get to meet new people.
Mhm.
So this is how like I mentioned, like few of the friends that I interacted, few of the people that I interacted during my first volunteering experience, till date I am in touch with them. Not even like, yes, all of us now, we left Bhumi at different ages, but but still we are in touch. And apart from that, apart from non-voluntary, even I go out and seek advices to them for stuff which I want in my personal life itself. Like, I if I have any, if I need any guidance in with respect to careers or something like that. And there is one thing that I have noticed, that you get in volunteering, is like you get to meet people from all the different backgrounds. So you have people who were graduates of IIMs. You have people working in Big Fours at various different positions. That like spending time with them and getting to learn a lot of things is, and then getting to be friends with such people is something like really important for a person as to grow. So yes, even
Yeah.
friendships and all that matter, because like when it comes to in during my initial days, like we ended up becoming good friends, and that gives a certain confidence of giving responsibilities, that that this person will pull
Can do.
this off
Correct.
no matter what, how much ever
Yeah.
because there are certain things which you can only give it to people whom you think they can pull it off.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
where you cannot say friends, but at least knowing a person really well helps you a lot.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, so I believe this volunteering platform can only give you that level of exposure. So if you go for, suppose, a workplace, you have people who would be from different backgrounds, but at the same time, there would be something that is common, because that's why you have joined. Like, let's say, if an IT company, of course, the people have done
Mhm.
IT or engineering. So that is that common ground, and that's it. But when we come to a volunteering, it's all, different colors. It's a rainbow, and you can explore whatever color, or you can actually get to know that, okay, such kind of academic level or such kind of a job exists wherein you can do something. So that expanding of your own circle, knowing to know people from different background, or knowing to know people from different state itself, helps you open up your mind and just understand, okay, the world is really a huge place, and the level of impact you can create eventually through their help, that all those things matters a lot. And as far as friendship concerned, once you get into this mode of giving, the heart actually opens up for more of receiving. So like all those burden has just come down, and now your heart is open for something new, something different. And when such colorful people gets meet together, it's always a celebration. So I remember all of our online events has been such a grand like festival. We would be at our homes, but we would just shout, and our family members would be like, what's going on? So all those things. But we had one of the greatest memories during all those online events. Even if it was at home, we had good fun, and it was because of this diversity and this friendship. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and friendship plays a very vital role. Yeah,
very
Omkar.
true.
Yeah, because you end up having friends in all corners of the country.
Very true. Yeah.
If you are moving to Bangalore, you have this back of your mind, you are not alone there. At least 5, 6 people who are in Bangalore right now,
So true. So
who
true.
in case of
So
emergency would come and help you. Okay, so you're
so
not
true.
anywhere you go, even if you go to some place like Delhi and all, if you don't know anyone in Delhi, but you can get through the network, and at least you can find someone. If you're from Bhumi, you can find someone from Bhumi who could come and help you, at least help you with
Yeah,
finding accommodation if you're moving for job purposes and everything. So this is
So
one thing
true.
that one of the great perks of volunteering in a NGO which has centers everywhere around the country.
Everywhere. Yeah.
that's also important, that friendship what we were discussing. And now with the friendship, I would also like to know from you guys that I'm very much sure there are many, but if you can call out and shout out to few people who have inspired you in this journey, it would be very great.
Yes, so there was like, I cannot name one or two because I can release like a lot of people, but of course, like I mentioned through my entire conversation, like you have Lijo, who of course inspires, who was the one who like laid a good solid foundation to the city. And apart from that, there was Diksha, who I could give a shout out to, whom I got to learn a lot. And like she was the one who made everything like so simple and easy. So, and apart from that, like you have Satish, who came with a really cool and calm attitude. And of course he had a lot more experience than any one of us in volunteering.
Hmm.
Okay, so though
Yep.
he was a newcomer in the city, but he was someone whom we looked up to with respect to having knowing things and knowing the know-hows, or something like that, like how exactly things are done back in Chennai, and how can we implement those things as close as possible here in Mumbai or anything like that. And then apart from that, you have person like Sanket Menden, whom you saw, whom you appointed, and you saw that this person like went from 0 to 6 just to pull off an event really quickly and really well. So I would like to mention these people, whom throughout the volunteering journey, who kept on inspiring me. And I got to learn a lot, though in volunteering and support. Apart from volunteering, even in your personal life, even you end up becoming friends with such people for a long time, and you get to learn a lot. So these are the people whom who come in top of my mind, who were inspiring, to do all these things. Of course, you have Dr. Pralatan, who who is the main source of inspiration at the powerhouse, whom everyone looks up to. Okay, so yeah, these were the things, and these were the people whom I would like to give a shout out to, who made my journey comfortable in this entire thing. And of course, I cannot forget Meghna. I cannot forget Meghna, because yeah, she is like
Yeah.
one hell of a person, and she is an awesome person whom whom you get to learn a lot. about managing all the stuff, about how exactly she used to manage. I guess she was the first employee in Bhumi Mumbai at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, so you had a person who you can look up to, hold accountable, and all those things. So yeah, she was the one who used to guide us. Like, and at that time, I guess Lijo slowly like parted ways with Bhumi. So she was, you can say, the fatherhead or the main leader whom we used to follow at that time.
Nice, nice. Yeah, before Anjali, you share, I just wanted to share that there's one conversation with Meghna in our channel. So people do after this conversation do hop into that and listen what that inspiring person has to say about her current work at Kandhari, and she has started her own NGO. So do check that out as well. Yeah, Anjali.
One of the main person as a common inspiration, I would like to shout out to Madhu. We call her Madhu Akka Bhumi, but she is Madhura and she wants to be called Madhura. So Madhura, thanks a lot for being such a big inspiration. Like, you really don't know what kind of impact you're making, be it at volunteers or for the kids. So big shout out to Madhu Akka, Madhura, sorry. And I'm hoping, AK, you can have a conversation with her as soon as possible. We would all love to, like, the highest views video for Madhura. So, and I'm sure for the viewers, like people who are who don't know about her, that video can be of great knowledge, a great inspiration, and will open up your mind to many different new things, because that's how talking to her has been for each one of us. She always helps us, and she has been the most kindest. She will be always speaking with a low tone, very understanding. She sounds like she's singing a song for you, but still she will make sure she will teach you something at the end of the conversation. So that's a Madhuvaka for us, Madhura for Madhura. And later on, of course, Harish is like refreshed daddy. He's like the big
Awesome.
parent, yeah. Big parent for all of us, for all these coordinators who had been starting the journey as a leader or a LB during the Nakshatra online phase. And for all of them, Harish has been this big push. So he would talk to everyone, who he would try to understand. First of all, he always tried to understand what kind of a person this is, and what is their spark, or what is that thing that they are good at. And eventually he pushed them through that thing. Like, suppose if I had a thing towards, let's say, talking to kids or handling with kids, so he would push me towards that kind of events or that kind of programs wherein I could give my best there. And suppose my co-volunteer is good at, let's say, talking to vendors or fundraising part, so he would push them towards that. So he is very good at understanding what you're good at, and eventually pushing you towards getting the best out of it. And Tanisha is like, oh my god, she is leading Kolkata like how we really don't know. Like, we are so clueless. Every day we hear her name, every day we hear Kolkata is conducting a new program, a new event, an award. And like, it has been always, like, I guess since 2 years, Kolkata has never stopped. Kolkata has been doing something or the other, and they have been one of the major city who has given lot many homes towards all these common events of national events. So Kolkata city were able to pull off big events even during different adverse conditions because of rain or everything.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have been consistent with their work and with their impact towards the society. So that's kudos to Tanisha. And please tell us the secret. How do you do this? Like, she's doing her MBA and still she's managing this on site. So it's really great.
Yeah,
And yeah, kudos to her team as well. Then Bharti is always silent, but he will be doing things, under, like, he would be silent on the outside, but inside he will be keeping on running and inspiring everybody, because with his silence we all were so much intrigued to know what kind of a person he is. And eventually when he starts to speak or when he starts to share, that's when we realize what kind of a gem he is. And then we try to we actually explore that kind of an volunteering, let's say, an fire, what instills him to do such things. And that is very unique and very different. And to talk to him out, to be a friend with him has been a great experience overall. And they, all of them are great friends with me till now. And I'm really glad. Like, so now, as you know, this national friendship, we were saying nationally, we have friends. Madhura is from Chennai, Tanisha is from Kolkata, Bharti is from Bangalore, and then we Harish, who is nationally everywhere. He keeps on traveling. So all these people, and we have many, not just now, these were the people who have been like with Bhumi since a long time. And we also have people who started their journey like me, or just few years back from me. So I have my co-volunteers with me. So Shreya, of course, she has been with Bhumi since a long time, and she's very, savage. She would not say anything until she has to say something sarcastic, and we would keep on laughing. So that's what Shreya has been for us. But the way she had been functioning with Bhumi, it's very inspiring. And she will never tell us that she's working. She always like, I'm very lazy. I'm not going to do this. But Pune would be the first to finish something. So that has been for Shreya. And my co-volunteer Tejas, I would like to give a big shout out, because she's so hardworking. She has taught me so much. Like, we have at times like calls and conversation wherein we, lo- just lose the track of time, and we would be keeping on talking and talking, and it would be so much deep conversations that, like, on a personal individual level as well, she has inspired me a lot for doing things, or just focusing on myself as well. So all those things, even mental health related things, such conversations with a new friend or a volunteer, just a volunteer, it's very uncommon. We don't even have such conversation with our best friends maybe. So that kind of a conversation I started to have with new friends or volunteers. So yes, and Vaibhav and many others. Vaibhav is like, he does magic. I don't know how he would take up an event, and then eventually that event would be the best one. And he has been even awarded for that. Like, he had conducted JTW, which went very great. Like, he was able to, distribute gifts to more than 200 children. And that too, he went out of his, comfort zone. He went to Madhya Pradesh and distributed the gift. So all those things make him as well a great inspiration to work with. And yeah, many. And if I have missed out anybody's name, I'm sorry. Let's say Omkar is there, and then yeah, many people. I will take a long time if I start.
So yeah, like as Anjali and Omkar rightly said, right, the list will be a never-ending list, right? And it's like the more you start naming out people, the more you remember. So I'll pause both of you here right away, and whoever has been missed out, I am sure there's no intention of missing out. It's just the it's
Exactly.
just the memory
Like, already
part.
many names are there
No,
in my
Yeah,
head.
it is like, each and every person that you meet will end up inspiring you in some
yeah,
or the other way. Will end up, teaching you something or the other.
Very
Some or
right.
true.
the other way.
That's the power of volunteering and having conversation with any volunteer you connect with. So thanks to each one of you, and a big shout out to each one of you who are out there inspiring all of us to volunteer and to keep that energy going. This brings me to the second last segment of this conversation is about knowing the city, knowing Mumbai as a city. Now I invite both of you to open up doors for individuals who have not visited city and allow them to experience Mumbai from your lens.
Yeah, so Mumbai is not just about, marine drives, and yes, Juhu Beach is not the cleanest beach that you will find. So yes, Mumbai has a beautiful forested area in Sanjay Gandhi National Park, and you have aaye Forest.
Hmm.
So people, whenever anybody searches Mumbai, the only thing that they look at
Marine.
is that Marine Drive and a concrete jungle, like buildings that are being constructed right now. But yes, Mumbai is a lot more than that. Yes, you will find millions of people that they start at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yes, you will find rush in the train at 6 o'clock in the mornings, even at 12:30 in the night. Yes, you won't find trains empty. Yes, if anybody coming to Mumbai, it will be like, especially from, let's say a smaller city where you don't have much population or something like that. You'll surely be scandalized. Like, where do these people come from and where do they go? Yes, they stay somewhere. And yes, if you are coming to Mumbai, get used to staying in small houses. Okay, so yes, we count it as a luxury if our house is more than 350 square feet. Okay, a carpet area. Yes, it is
Yeah.
luxury. It is, a lot of people are like quite shocked, like, how exactly do you all live in such small houses? It's like, yeah, this is like just normal thing for us.
Yeah, it's possible. Like,
And the best thing about Mumbai is, I might be wrong and I might get a lot of criticism, is like, you get best food out here of all the regions. Maybe a South Indian food. Like, I love dosas here in Mumbai more than I would like in Chennai. I might know a lot of criticism there. But yeah, something like that. At the end of the day, if you are in Mumbai and if you like food, trust me, you'll get all food from all around the corner. Even you can say all around the globe, and it will be way better than any of the local foods.
okay. Yeah,
Right.
local foods are great. Local foods are great. So, for me, Mumbai has been like this. Let's start from, as Omkar said, Marine Drive. So once this song got released, like जैसा है कोई एक तारा, Marine Drive में जाके बैठना है, ये गाना सुनना है. So if you are coming to Mumbai, it's okay. You can spend some time in Marine Drive, but as he said, like Mumbai is not just about Marine Drive. There are so many places like Sanjay Gandhi National Park, for example. Trek once there. It's worth, and it's very chilly place. You could rent a cycle, bike, or anything, and you could go for a trek. And Mumbai is must visit place because of this constructions, like the architectural beauty that Mumbai has got, be it Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus or many other places like the central Mumbai. If you go there, there are many buildings that might not be famous but still have very beautiful architectural part. So do visit all those things, and visit the markets, like very cheap, good dresses for girls or boys who love shopping, dress shopping. Go to markets. There is a market in Bandra and there is one in Mumbai near CST. So do visit the markets.
Khar.
And what else? Hanging Garden. Hanging Garden is good, but we were not allowed. I don't know why. They blocked us. Like the first time I went to Hanging
Yeah.
Garden, but
Whatever you do in Mumbai, yes, Marine Drive is overrated, but yeah, it gives you a good feel of a sunset at the end of the day.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
something which you don't want to miss. But yes, if you want to have a good sunset, see to it that you at least reach there half an hour before the sun actually sets, because it is crowded. You have to find your spot.
Correct, correct. And don't visit it during the noon time. It's very hot.
It's very, yeah, and get used to humidity if you are coming to Mumbai
Oh
for the first.
yeah.
Yeah, and peek out when the temperature goes below 16 degrees Celsius. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, sweaters on and everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, and the food is good. Mumbai is famous for vada pav, and vada pav is a must try.
So
And
if
pani
you
puri.
like food,
Yeah.
come to Mumbai, man. You'll get,
Misal pav is there.
you'll
Pav
get,
bhaji is there. The list is long.
yeah, even you'll get good sushi and
Oh.
everything that you'll get. So that's what I'm telling you. So it's like a huge melting pot. And even if you are someone from far northeast, of course, you'll find thousands of people of your community staying here. You will never be alone in Mumbai. That is one of the biggest advantage. And yes, there is very less to minimum language barrier, that you're like, you can find people who are easily, trilingual. Most of them are trilingual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
myself can speak in my like language, Malayalam, Hindi, and Marathi. So yes, it's a place where
Yeah,
you can get anything,
so
speak.
you'll never be alone in this
Yeah.
place.
That's a nice Mumbai visit. And don't. Moving to the last part of the conversation, if you have to give one advice to any person who's starting their volunteering journey, what that one advice would be?
So one advice that I would suggest would be, keep an open mind, come with a blank slate. Okay, don't come up with a plan. Keep what you have to do. Just sit there, try to absorb. You would have a lot of things, coming up. Try to absorb like how much as you can, and don't be afraid to try new things.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to try new things, because these are the things which will, you never know, you might end up liking it, and you might be someday very good at these things. And
So
yes, try
true.
to be as, even if you are an introvert, try to be as social as possible. And this is and treat it as your, as your space where, you can hang out with people, you can be more social, you can do things which, you never thought you would be able to do all this time. So all in all, would be like, just sit back, relax, and enjoy your journey, enjoy each and every day, because each and every day, each and every person that you will meet will be going to teach you something or the other, and that
Hmm.
will help you in your life.
Yeah, and I agree with Omkar. So like, it should be a blank slate that you bring in, but also like you have to make sure that you are not coming with an expectation to gain something, but rather you should be coming with a mind wherein you are able to set an expectation for you or set the purpose. So like when you're starting your volunteering journey, it shouldn't be like, okay, let's do something different, let's try something. Okay, once you try it, you shouldn't be like, now it's, I'm not liking this journey, or like, I'm okay, it's like more of like your purpose. Or once you find that, okay, this thing is what I like, you should keep on following it and never stop it. So like, Omkar said, like, when you come with a open mind, you start to learn from different people, you start to, learn from different experiences, and that thing should be continuous, that should thing should be consistent. And once you, sign up for this, it's never a journey alone. You are going to meet people from many background, like different people, and they are going to teach you something. And yeah, it's never an alone journey. Be ready to, have a fun party kind of a mode, because volunteering is a party mode. And that's how you have to take this ahead, and that's when you actually enjoy and also give that enjoyment to the others. So yeah.
And I would also like to add just one thing, like, you should know why you are signing up for. you know
Very true. Yeah.
you should know what your commitment should be.
Hmm.
Most of the thing what I've observed while volunteering is like, people take a decision to, volunteer on heap of a moment, like,
Hmm.
one fine day they'll be sitting on a couch and they'll be deciding, okay, I should volunteer, I should do something. Or maybe they'll see some inspiring thing on, on your Snapchat or on your Instagram or social media, and as like, okay, I should also do this,
That's
let's
yeah.
go and try. But there is one thing that, people fail to understand, is like, once you start volunteering, you also end up taking a responsibility, and you cannot, and that responsibility is linked with all the other things. So you cannot
Hmm.
just like go in, and then you realize that, you're just bored and you don't want to do this, and then you
Hmm.
quit. Because once you quit, then it becomes a huge headache for the other volunteers also, because now
Hmm.
we have to cover it. So there is one advice that I would like to give, is like, please be, please know where you are signing up, please know what your goal would be, what your mission is, what your vision is. And yes, you are learning and you're getting inspired from a lot of people, but see to it that your actions are really good, because you will be inspiring someone else, even if knowingly
Hmm.
or unknowingly people will be looking up to you. So whatever actions that you take, whatever things that you do, see to it that, you know what you're doing, and you know where you're going, and you know what you're signing up for.
Yeah, volunteering is like not something that you are doing just to be in the good books. It's more than that. It's to be actually somewhere wherein you feel good about yourself, that okay, I have done something good, and not just that okay, I'm calling myself a volunteer and that's it. No, there your job does not end there. You could not call yourself a volunteer until and unless you have actually contributed something to the society in a way where you have helped, in a way where you feel that you have fulfilled a purpose or you have made somebody happy today. And that's what volunteering, it may be in an organization or maybe outside the organization, but when you're volunteering, it should be only giving, and the receiving part, it's karma. You do good, you get good. So yeah.
Wow, what a nice note to end with is at the end of the day it's karma. If you do good, you get good. So that's it, guys. On this note, we will end this conversation. Thank you so much for your time and the insights. What you have given is it's just amazing, and I am very much sure that whoever listens to this conversation would fall in love with volunteering and also start their volunteering journey. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Akshay.
Has been like a really good time that I've spent. And I surely am right now, back of my mind, I'm missing my movie days right now.
Yeah, so you should come back again.
Yeah, surely. I
Give
will
me
sure.
freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher.